In this lesson, we're covering troubleshooting, because at some point it's going to happen. You're going to run an AI generated script and something's going to go wrong. Maybe it throws an error, maybe it runs but doesn't do what you're expected. Maybe it just stops halfway through and you have absolutely no idea why. Now, most people tend to panic when things like this happen. They start randomly changing things or they just end up giving up entirely. But in this lesson, I'm going to give you a calm, repeatable process for working through any problem with any script. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to do the next time something breaks, and you'll learn to get faster at fixing it than even most experienced sysadmins. So before we get into the steps, I want to talk about how to think when something goes wrong, because the mindset matters just as much as the process. The central principle is this. Every broken script has exactly one root cause. Your job is to find it, not guess at random. Random changes almost never fix the real problem, and in fact they often create new ones on top of the original. So 3 rules to keep your head in the game the whole time that you're debugging. Rule number 1 is don't guess, isolate. Be sure to work methodically, read the error, understand what it's telling you, and find the specific line and go ahead and fix that. Don't just start changing things at random because it could hurt you more down the track. Rule number 2 is remember that AI is there to help you debug. The same tool that wrote the script can help you fix it. So you can paste in the error, paste in the entire script and describe what you expected versus what's happened. And that way you can use AI to diagnose its own output. And I found that this actually works remarkably well. And rule number 3 is make sure you're only making one change at a time. Never make 3 fixes and then run it again because you won't know which one actually worked. Make one change, test it, confirm it, then move to the next. It might feel slower, but it ends up being faster in my experience because you're not creating new problems. So step 1 is read the error message, all of it, not just the first line. I know it sounds pretty obvious, but a lot of sysadmins I know just glance at an error, see red text, and immediately start changing things. The error message is telling you almost everything you need to know. The problem is knowing how to read it. So you need to look at things like what failed, where it failed, and the exact code itself, as well as why it failed. That 4 pieces of information are contained all in one error message, so make sure you read the whole thing before you do anything else. Step 2 is once you've read and understood the error, use AI to help you out. So paste it into AI, but not always just the error, put in the context as well. So for example, a weak prompt might look like my script isn't working, it says something about a commandlet not being found, can you help? Whereas a strong prompt and the one that's going to get you further is to actually paste in the error and give it context behind what you're seeing. The quality of fix that you get is directly proportional to the quality of context that you give AI. So it's a really good idea to always have the exact error message, your operating system, the full script, and what you expected to happen versus what actually happened. And step 3 is for when pasting the error into AI doesn't immediately solve it, and when there's no error message at all, this is the isolation step. So you might want to start looking at commenting out seconds, testing commands individually, or even adding write host and echo checkpoints to see what's happening on the console itself. These 3 techniques cover the vast majority of debugging scenarios, and that way you're not guessing, you're scientifically narrowing down the problem. Step 4 is one that most people resist, but knowing when to stop debugging and start over. If you've made more than 3 fixes and it's still broken, the logic can be so tangled that you can't follow what it's doing anymore. And every fix that you do is introducing new problems. You're no longer sure what script is actually supposed to do, and AI just keeps giving you patches on top of patches rather than a clean solution. So in those cases, it might be worth just going and re-prompting from scratch. A well-written script can take 2 minutes, whereas chasing a broken script can take hours. So you've got to know when to let go. So, as I mentioned, everything together here. If the script fails, be sure to understand the error, use AI to help you fix it, isolate the problem, and you've either then got a fix or you're going to have to go back and re-prompt. Stay calm, read the error, and use AI to your advantage. That's not optimism, that's just true. There's always a next step, so be aware of that.